Hello, everyone. Ian McMillan here from Fanside today. Joining me, former NFL quarterback and current analyst for Amazon's Thursday Night Football broadcast, Ryan Fitzpatrick, who is joining me today on behalf of Little Caesars. Of course, Ryan, I want to talk to you about your partnership with Little Caesars, but I do have some questions for you to start things off. And I'm actually going to start with some Ryan Fitzpatrick trivia. I got two questions for you. Number one, obviously everyone knows that you played for 9 different teams across the NFL. Do you know the 2 teams you actually never played in a game against?
The Green Bay Packers.
Yes.
And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Correct. Yeah. Played for the Buccaneers, obviously, but never played in a game against them. I thought that was fascinating. I would have thought for sure that you would have played against all 32 teams. But yeah, those are the 2 teams that you did not play against. You know the 2 teams you played against the most?
I would say the New England Patriots.
Yes.
And the Miami Dolphins.
Close. Another AFC East team, the New York Jets.
Jets. I mean, it had to be in the AFC East. I spent a lot of my career there. But the Patriots are definitely number 1 on that list, I would say.
I love it. All right. Ryan, I am a Falcons fan myself. You might be able to tell by the helmet in my background. So talking to a quarterback now, my first big question for you is Desmond Ridder the guy? Is he the guy that's going to lead my team forward for me, or do we have to look at different directions?
Well, I know the coaches well. I know Desmond and Taylor Heineke well. I mean, I met Des this offseason, spent a day with him. And I know Taylor very well from being in Washington. But, you know, I think Arthur Smith has this team going in the right direction. I really, you know, they're a tough team to play against. And so, you know, before, I think when we look at the last few seasons, you're looking at the Atlanta Falcons and you're saying, okay, there's a win, and you kind of check them off. They're going to give you everything they can get. They had a couple tough wins last season. And then this year, they're going to be in every game because their defense has improved that much more. And they're great at running the football. Bijan's been awesome to watch. Desmond's got to play better. He does. And when you have young quarterbacks, this is what's going to happen. There's going to be some struggles, but you just want to see him keep getting better and better. You want to see, you know, some of the mistakes that are being made. Maybe the next week we're not seeing as many, but he's got to play better. He's working at it. They're working at it with him. But this is a good football team this year. So the patience and how long they're going to wait for him to play better, I will see. He had a much better second half than he did first half. I think we all saw that, and you see the reasons why they like him. But now we've got to get more consistent in a game-to-game basis with him.
Is there a quarterback in the league that you think is underrated, a guy who not enough people are talking about, a guy who has all the intangibles and just doesn't get talked about enough in the media for being as good as he is?
So I've got 2 names. One, this isn't going to be a sexy take here, but Joshua Dobbs and what he's done this year in Arizona, you know, for a guy to be pulled out of wherever he was, Cleveland, Tennessee, wherever he was, and to be brought to Arizona this year for a team nobody thought was going to do anything, how well he's playing right now. It's been awesome. He's playing winning football, and they haven't necessarily won in every game, but I think they've surprised a lot of teams. So he's a guy that I am very proud of, if you know that's the right word, because of his career, the places he's been. He hasn't had many opportunities, but taking that start he had last year at the end of the year in Tennessee and now building upon it in a new place when nobody thought he'd do anything, he's playing great football. And then Brock Purdy. There still aren't enough people talking about Brock Purdy. Everybody keeps saying, well, he's a system guy. It's right. Shanahan. It's the weapons. It's got a great defense. But watch this kid play football. He's a machine. It's absolutely insane. He's a machine. He makes the decisions that he needs to be making all the time. He's quick. He puts the ball in the right place. He's a perfect fit for that offense. But right now, this kid is a top 5 quarterback in the NFL, and I think we need to start talking about him a little bit more. Whether he's a system guy or not, Brock Purdy is playing great football.
I have noticed that there's a narrative that everyone in sports media just kind of repeats that, yeah, is Brock Purdy, he's not really that good. It's just the 49ers offense. Like, where do you think that comes from? And it almost feels like there's nothing he can do to prove to people that he's actually a really good quarterback, because everyone's just going to say, yeah, it's the coaching, it's the system, he's fine, whatever, let's move on. Why do you think that is the narrative right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think Shanahan's had a lot of success, with his quarterback, whoever it's been. But we got to remember, other than him getting hurt in that game against the Eagles, Brock still hasn't lost a football game as a starter.
Right.
And I just go back to Brock was fighting to be the third string quarterback last season, trying to make the roster. And so he's not getting any reps. So all of this that he did last year and then into this year, he has done it without a ton of reps. He was rehabbing from the elbow injury, and people don't understand how impressive he actually has been. And the narrative of, well, let's put Brock Purdy on, the Houston Texans and see what happens. Well, guess what? He's on the 49ers, and he's the perfect fit for Kyle Shanahan, and Kyle Shanahan loves this kid as his quarterback. So you've got a football team, a very good one that believes in him, and you've got a kid that believes in himself and this system and his teammates. So let's just give him his flowers here and make sure that everybody loves and respects Brock Purdy for the way that he's playing, and not that he's just a system quarterback.
Would you say you have a little bit of a soft spot for Brock Purdy, or maybe even you feel a bit of a connection to him being a fellow 7th round pick?
Well, being a fellow 7th round pick, and we're from the same hometown. So you can call me a homer. We're both from Gilbert, Arizona, but watch him play. I mean, I keep trying to watch him play and find, things. Okay, well, this is what he does well, but this is what he struggles with. And right now, there's not a whole lot that he struggles with. He's athletic. He makes the right decisions of when to get out of the pocket or run, and he's playing great football.
I want to ask you about another player selected in this latest draft, not the 7th round, but I believe it was the 5th round, a guy who was just taking the NFL by storm, Puka Nauca. How does a guy of this level of talent kind of slip through the cracks all the way to the 5th round? I know he had some injury issues during his college days at BYU, but is that it? Because this guy immediately from day one has become one of the best receivers in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, I think, again, sometimes with these players, it's being in the right system with the right coach. Puka Nauca, well, I'll use the Houston Texans again. If he goes to the Houston Texans, is he making enough noise as he is now? Maybe. I mean, but this system is tailor-made for a guy like him. Sean McVay, they saw something in him right away where they knew that he was going to be a good player for them. But look, if you're drafted in the 5th round, like if people thought you were going to be a superstar right away, you obviously, even with the Rams, he wouldn't have made it to the 5th round, right? So I think he's obviously taken them by surprise a little bit as well. But that system, the things that he does, fast, athletic, physical, smart player, and Matthew Stafford. So as a quarterback, once you have a guy you know is reliable, that's going to do the right thing, Matthew has a great relationship with him already, and you can feel that on the field chemistry. So it's been amazing to watch. And I have Andrew Whitworth in my ear every week talking about how amazing Puka Nauca is. And, he told me before the season started, keep your eye on this kid. And it's been really impressive.
One of the things I do every week, Ryan, is I have a fraudulent power rankings. I power rank the top 5 teams who I think are the most fraudulent in the NFL. And how I define fraudulent is teams that have a very good record or a good record, a team that a lot of people say is very good, but I don't think they're actually as good as their public perception is. Who do you think is the most fraudulent team in the NFL through the first 4 weeks?
I would love to see your rankings. That's we go back to you are what your record is, right? But I think I've got some question marks for the Cowboys.
Yes. That's my number one team. So
I knew they would be on your list for sure. I think everybody has some questions about them, especially after that Cardinals game. But
right.
a team that is one of those top tier teams. You need to be able to handle those games, the games that you should be winning. And that was one that was a real disappointment. And you think, okay, the Cowboys are such an enigma because that laid out the blueprint for what's going to happen to them as we go forward. Okay, they're playing the Patriots and Bill Belichick. He's going to run the ball down their throats, and they're going to lose to the Patriots as well. And then they come out and they just beat the brakes off the Patriots. So, they're a team that is hard. It's a week-to-week proposition with them. They're obviously a really talented team, but we're going to find out this coming week in a huge game with the 49ers.
Yes, absolutely. One more question for you before we talk about your partnership with Little Caesars. Obviously, you played for 9 teams. You have played for a ton of different franchises, but I'm curious, who was the best fan base that you played for? Was there a fan base of any of the teams that you played for, maybe even teams that you played against, and you were like, these guys are the best football fans out there?
The fan bases I played for, there were lots. I think I'm always most partial to Buffalo. I was there for 4 years, played there the longest. That was probably the best relationship that I had with the fans, and I'm pumped we get to go back for Thursday night when they play the Bucs this year to Buffalo, which we didn't get a chance to do last year, so I'm excited. The ones that stick out to me, though, as an opposing player, Seattle is always incredible. The Kansas City atmosphere is incredible, and Minnesota as well. Those are three. Noise level, the fans, how into it, how knowledgeable they are. Those were always three that I enjoyed playing at.
So Ryan, tell me about your partnership with Little Caesars.
Well, it works out really nice because they needed a football player or a retired one to do some stuff, and I love pizza. So big fan of the hot and ready with my kids. We love the crazy bread, but had a really fun time shooting the commercial. I got to hang out for a day with George Kittle and Cam Jordan. And the funniest thing I could say about that day was they kept, they bring out a hot, nice, fresh pizza for the take. We're doing it. We're supposed to be fake eating the pizza. They would say cut. And I look over and George and Cam, their pizzas are gone. Their slices are gone basically down to the crust. So the chef kept getting so upset with us because then the chef would have to bring out a whole new pizza, nice, perfect, spritz on top. And then George and Cam would continue to eat the pizza. But I think it's a fun partnership. They're the official pizza sponsor of the NFL. They've got some perks. If you order anytime on Sunday, if you order in an hour before the game on Thursday or Monday, there's plenty of things that you can win, the biggest being Super Bowl 58 tickets. So they're very much involved on game day. And, as a father of 7, I love Little Caesars pizza.
Is that the Little Caesars bye-week campaign?
So the Little Caesars bye-week campaign is basically, look, this is Little Caesars saying, look, your team's going to have a bye week this year, but you can still enjoy pizza. That doesn't mean you're not going to be sitting in front of the TV watching all these games. So make sure that during the bye week, you remember it's not just eating pizza while you're watching your own team, but we're eating pizza while we're watching football.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Ryan. I appreciate you taking the time today. I do have one final question I have to ask. Are you and Jared Goff good now?
You know what? I really love and respect Jared's game. He took it apparently as a slight, but I see Matt Ryan as one of the great quarterbacks, that I ever played with and against. He was an NFL MVP. So it was more in making that comparison and me saying, look, these guys are very similar when I watch them play, but I still have Matt Ryan on a level above Jared Goff. So I hope he didn't take it as too big of a slight. I got a nice hug and handshake afterwards. I think it was great that he gave me a hard time about it, and deservedly so. He had a great game. He's been playing fantastic. But hopefully there's no beef there. I'll be waiting for the Christmas card at Christmas in the mail from him. So,
all right, perfect. Thank you so much, Ryan. I appreciate you taking the time. Take care and best of luck with the Thursday Night Football broadcast moving forward.